Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Dawson. Welcome to Leader Talk. This show is proudly brought to you by Brainiact. Each week we are meeting with incredible leaders from around the world to discuss all things leadership and business insights. Each person coming on this talk show has given up their valuable time for one very clear purpose: to give back to small and medium business owners. Today, Gus, Arianto and I are fortunate to chat to our guest speaker, Jose Marquez, CEO of Quantum Motors South America, the first Bolivian company dedicated to manufacturing electric cars. Jose is here today to teach us about the importance of dreaming big, taking on large competitors, and cleaning up the environment. Welcome to the show, Jose.
Hi, Natalie. Hi, Gustav. Thank you for inviting me. Very happy to be here.
And Jose, thank you so much for donating your time, your insights, and your knowledge to our audience all over the world. This is a non-commercial podcast, and you come with the intent to help all of us. So thank you on behalf of Leader Talk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Now, before we dive into the questions, we always ask our guests two fun questions. So the first one we'd like to ask you is, what is your favorite sport and why?
Well, my favorite sport is football or soccer for the US audience. We play a lot of soccer in Latin America. We are born with soccer, and we enjoy. My favorite team is Jorge Wilstermann. Is one of the biggest uh, um, teams in Bolivia, and we won the Copa Libertadores de America, that is equal to the UEFA Champions League. So it's my passion. I love to play football or soccer, and I go often to see my team at the stadium. And it's part of my passions. I have my team right now is not going through a good economic health, and we were supporting our team and my city, which is Cochabamba. It's unbelievable how responsive it was to this situation, and we were passing through very bad days, but we feel happy to help our team. And we are also, as our company Quantum, sponsoring this team. So you have to Google it. Jorge Wilstermann, very good team in Latin America.
Well, how fantastic. And what about, while we're on the topic of Bolivia, what is something interesting about Bolivia that other people may not know about?
Well, Bolivia is not a very popular country. Well, it's a small country in the center of South America. And I will start definitely for food. We will be famous as Mexico or maybe Peru someday. I can assure you that, because we have very, very good food here. We have, of course, a very nice landscapes. We have very high places, as you maybe, when you think about Bolivia, you will think about the high mountains and La Paz, that is the biggest city in the middle of the mountains. And but there are also very nice places in the mountains, and also very nice places in the valleys where I live. And there are some lower places in the Amazonic rainforest, that is about 60% of the of Bolivian territory, right, area. So we have everything you can imagine in a small country. I love living in Bolivia, and something that is very popular right now is the Salt Lakes of Uyuni Salt Lake, where I don't know if you have seen. It says people say the mirror of the sky, because when it rains, you have a little amount of water where you can reflect all the sky, and it's really magical. And the Salt Lake of Uyuni have the biggest reservoirs of the world of lithium. So it is not just very nice; it's also very rich. so, so right now we are starting to explore that, and we will be hard competitors to Australian lithium.
Wow, that's amazing. Gus, we've got to add Bolivia to our list of
Oh, yeah,
places to
definitely.
travel. We meet so many great leaders from around the world, and everywhere is just seems amazing in the world. Thank you, Jose. And before we
Thank you.
go on, would you be able to tell the audience a little bit more about yourself and just introduce your business so we understand who Quantum Motors are when we discuss it later on?
Well, sure. Well, Quantum is a company that was born from another company that used to do well, actually do metal work. Metal work. So we in that other company we do uh, uh, construction machinery and mining machinery. And well, we in that company uh, some years ago we thought, okay, since mining is so big in Bolivia, but it's also so informal. It's not big companies exploding mines. It's about small groups of people making a joint venture and asking the government for a piece of land to explode, seeing silver or gold. Well, they use everything they can afford to take out minerals to export, or to sell them to an exporter company. So in this kind of industry, they use, and believe it or not, right now in this century, they use wheelbarrows, and it's very not just it's very they use a lot of wheelbarrows, and it's not it's very inefficient. Okay, so we thought, okay, there should be something better to do for these clients we have. And we thought we should make mini dampers so they can take them inside the mines. And we were thinking, well, but we cannot use gas motors to these mini dampers, or diesel, because everything is closed. So we have to go electric. And when we started to see options, well, these were very expensive in Europe. And what we do is we brought some and make some kind of reverse engineering, right? And we think, okay, we could this way cheaper, more affordable. And well, we started to do that maybe like 8 years ago, and it is actually a success. We sell a lot of them. We are changing mining in Bolivia. But then we thought, okay, this is very cool. We should maybe do some kind of buggy, and for ourselves. So we started, without knowing, we started electromobility. And then we made some buggies for use them inside the factory, going to our houses. And we thought, okay, this is nice. Maybe we could do it, make it nicer, make it looks more than more like a car. But we need a brand, and also we need to raise money. Okay, raise money. So we hire a company to make us all the brand and all that. Quantum is not a nice name. So because it's a small unit of energy, right? And we want to keep our cars small because in that way they are more efficient. And well, that's how Quantum started. Firstly, like mini dampers, then to a concept brand, and now we are in 5 countries, and we are starting a bigger company, a bigger factory in Mexico with a very big partner.
It's an incredible story, Jose. And when people think of electric cars, I for myself can put my hand up. The first thing that comes to my mind is Tesla. Yet you just told us Quantum Motors is also producing electric cars. My question would be, what actually motivates and continues to push you to go up against these massive competitors? Because we're not talking about small competitors, we're talking about huge ones. Yet, you're expanding to 5 countries. I'm sure you weren't going to expand more. You're going to build the product. So what continues to motivate you and give you that courage to keep going against these big competitors?
Sure. Well, it's very common to say, okay, electromobility is Tesla, but it's as wrong as saying, okay, gas cars are like BMW. Tesla is a very nice car that everyone wants to own one, right? It's a very cool car. Everything that it has inside. We love Tesla, but there is a lot more than Tesla to than just that the brand, because since in Latin America we need to be part of the energy transition, or or energy matrix transition. Well, we also need something that we can afford, okay? Because our incomes are very lower than the first world, right? So, and if you see how much that the used cars that comes from Asia or USA or Europe are polluting. It's the in Africa or Southern Asia or Latin America. Well, the it's very complex. So the problem is very complex. If we don't change the energy matrix also in third world countries, we are not doing very much. So we think that way. We have to provide cars that that people can afford, but also that feed their needs. Because, for example, in Mexico City, the average speed is as low as 13 kilometers per hour, or Lima in Peru, 12 kilometers per hour. So we have very crowded cities with very slow traffic and cars stacked, and not just burning money, literally burning money, but also polluting a lot. So in this case, we can we can use a low speed vehicle, a very lightweight vehicle that could fit their needs for going to work, for going to university, and moving around, and for a very affordable price. As for example, our cars are cost less than 7,000 USD, and the cost for charging or for plugging in your house for a single charge is like 70 cents of USD, and you can go to up to 100 kilometers. So it's very cheap to buy and very cheap to maintain also.
Jose, I have a question that interests me on this. You start by introducing your business as what I can say as a solution to a problem. your consumer are mining, and you see people using wheelbarrow, and then you said, hey, that's not that good. Why don't we give a solutions? And then you come up with a battery operating solutions, and then move forward few years, you actually addressing world problems for sustainability, for addressing pollution, for addressing. So obviously, it didn't start. The business didn't start to address the world. The business start to address the problem in front of you, and now you can be a solution of the world. How do you bring the vision inside your organization so people follow this journey? Because it's a totally different from where it started. Because now you said we will be opening in five. We already opened in 5 countries. We're opening big factory in Mexico. We will be opening in more countries, and we are addressing this on the mass level, because our current competitor might only be able to address a smaller portion due to price and positioning. How do you bring this inside your organization to keep people believe, yeah, this is possible?
Well, that's a little complicated because in Bolivia we don't have a automotive industry, right? So we know that we have to not just convince clients to buy our cars, but also convince our workers to work with us, right? So, well, definitely is a challenge, right? And well, but we at first, well, like 5 years ago, we were like, okay, we want to, maybe we can do cars. Uh, let's think on it. Is it a big dream? It's impossible. I always like to think on what could we possibly do. Not just in this business. It's my nature, but well, when I think and I started to tell my ideas to someone else, well, some of them just look at me like I know what you are saying, but I don't know. I think you are crazy. Actually, there was a new paper that make that statement. Okay, the crazy guy from the electric cars from Bolivia, right? It's just the way my nature is, and of course, many investors look at me and say, I think your idea is very interesting, sounds good, but I don't know. I don't think we are ready for that. I wish you the best of luck and goodbye. But well, some of them trusted us, and now we are starting to do good. So I think the being explaining the idea and making some points to the people you are interested to catch those points is very important to pursue them to work with you or to invest with you, right? And when I explain my ideas, I want them to imagine how the situation will be, right? And to explain them how those problems are simple to solve them with the solution we're offering. Not just in these cars ideas and all that, but I, in everything I do, because people need to share your vision, and to share your vision is not that you make the nice statement. We're going to be the Latin America leaders of urban mobility or urban electric mobility, right? But how we are going to do that, and why do we want to do that? Because for example, with that vision of quantum, because uh, what we think is that big brands are not taking care of that of that big amount of people, but we are offering them a solution like that, because we have very low incomes, we have very crowded cities, and this solution is actually better to fit this market. And you are, maybe you don't know quantum, but you are starting to think like we do, and of course we're going to share our thoughts with you, and you are going to share also with me, and with our workers we do the same, and also with our investors, because some of them went to work with us, or started working with us for the experience, or for the money, of course. But it's very important that workers share your vision at that level, and think exactly what you think. Otherwise, they will be just people with not soul to not sharing the soul, in a good way of saying, to the company, right?
No, it's really interesting. Jose, I want to ask you for some advice for our listeners, for those listeners that are thinking of starting up a business, but they don't necessarily think they have the resources or let alone the money to go up against these big competitors. I mean, you've done it. What advice would you have for anyone thinking a different business, not electric car business, but another business? They're thinking of starting a business, whether it's, plumber, electrician, or whatever it is, but they're starting from the bottom up and they've got a lot of big competitors out there. They don't have the money or the resources. What advice do you have for them? Do they just stop? Do they continue? What would be your advice?
Well, it's very important uh, to make, of course, what everyone says, make your business plan. Try to convince you why is not a good idea. Well, try it's very, of course, um, making starting your company in the first world or in the third world, it's very different. If you see the numbers in Latin America, we have more companies, small companies. Okay, so because there's so many things to do here, but also the needs, and we don't have jobs, very well paid jobs. Salaries are not good. So most people think on starting a job and becoming an entrepreneur, right? So in this case, my recommendation, for example, is you have to be very sure on what you're doing, right? On what is your idea. Try to think about the worst scenarios. Try to think what could go wrong, and when it could go wrong. So in this case, and what you are going to do if it goes wrong. Do you have like a very complicated machinery to doing something very unique or very particular, or you can sell that machinery to other entrepreneur or company, and see the exit, right? So you can measure the risk. In this case, for example, in my case, my risk was uh, big, or our risk was big, but we already have many of the machines and the people to do it. So it was not like we are not going to, if we fail, we're going to keep all the stuff with us. We are going to continue making the machines we do, doing the metal work, but in case it goes well, we can expand, and we will handle it. Okay, but of course, that's one part. Also, try to see how much you're going to risk, or maybe move the listeners. Here is that getting the funds are easier. In Latin America, getting funds is very, very complicated because there are no venture capitals playing. Because I say playing because venture capitals play. They go like betting in the roulette, and they are making their bet. And okay, if one or two of 10 goes well, my bet is has complied, right? So that's very important to see, and also to see what problems your company is going to solve. Because not all um, the startups or the companies that you're making as an entrepreneur will be like how can I say, uh, not just solving a problem, but maybe making some change. In that way, you can see if you can how much you can get for that idea, right? And of course, be prepared for it. I always say we are like a Swiss Army knife. Everything you learn, you don't know when you are going to use it. You can learn how to make a website. Maybe it will be good for your business. You can learn marketing or another language, or maybe everything you can learn is good because you are not going to you're not you are going to use it some at some point. And be curious. Being curious, it's very important because you understand how things work. uh, Being curious on how international trade work, how laws work, and being curious will open your mind. So that's my advice. Sorry to extend that.
It's
No,
brilliant advice.
Jose, I think I have a question to you. I think you are absolutely accurate in describing the importance of understanding the why, understanding your offering, why you even offer such thing. Are you addressing? I think I like the way you say you need to understand what you addressed, because it's not just about coming up with something. I think there's millions of entrepreneurs, there's millions of companies in the world, billions of companies. But I wanna be the devil advocate here. Say myself and Natalie, we want to open a business. Now we're talking about electrics and things, electrics mobility. Maybe we go one level down. Natalie and I want to open a bicycle shop. But the why is only to make money. We don't have money, so we want to make money. Listening to what you say before, am I accurate to say that's one of the problem why businesses fail, because the why is not about addressing needs, but it's about us. So if we just say we want to make money, we want to open a bicycle shop, the minute you hit a challenges, that's where it's all stopped, according to what you mentioned before, if I'm accurate. Is that what you say? What you said is, if you want to open a bicycle shop, understand why you want to open a bicycle shop, because in your area, people are walking. And when they are walking, the landscape are dangerous because there's a lot of snake. So bicycle could be a safer option, instead of saying that we want to open a bicycle shop because we want to make money. Everyone want to make money. Am I accurate to say that? Is it anything to?
Exactly. Knowing why is very important for your business. No, you're assuming it very well.
Yeah, but Jose, this is the problem that we found, and I want to ask you, how do we learn this? because it's easy when we talk to a CEO of a company that is coming up with an idea that now open in 5 countries, open big factories, technologically advanced. But once again, we come back to that moment when you saw people using wheelbarrow and you said, we need to address that. How do people learn this? How do I learn this? How do I come tomorrow and be someone like you that, hey, I'm seeing people walking and there's a lot of snake. So let's create a mobility, whether it's a stick, walking stick or something, it doesn't matter. How do you practice this? What do you say to our audience that just about to open a business or expanding a business to be able to open their eyes and mind to solve a problem?
Yes, definitely being an observer, it's very important. Being an observer will think, okay, how does it work? How could I make it better? How is it failing? And well, that will actually bring you some ideas on how could it be better. And definitely being an observer will help you that not just okay, they are doing it with wheelbarrows, good for them, or they are very damp or something like that. How could I do it better? How can I offer them something that could be better for their job or their health or everything you observe?
Jose, I want to ask, after we chatted earlier about all this, what you do, and this really interesting topic, and you really challenged my way of thinking about I'm going back to energy efficiency now, about the car that I drive, because you mentioned to me a 2-ton car for a person to go to and from work is a lot of energy used right there. So I thought about it and I thought, geez, I really am wasting a lot of energy. My question for you is, how challenging, we're going to use your company as an example, but all business owners face this. How challenging is it for you to persuade their market, to persuade the market and change their way of thinking, to implement such a radically different concept? Because before, I would just drive my car, for example, not even think about the fact that I'm wasting energy. After my chat with you, I realized, geez, I'm wasting energy. So how do you, this was just a chat that we had, but how do you then communicate this and persuade the market, your target market, and really challenge their way of thinking?
Sure. Well, that's a question that we always do, right? So we found this that it's a innovation adoption curve that is not about just about technology. It's about everything we are going to change, right? We want to change. So, for example, we are offering cars that are very affordable, very cheap to buy, very cheap to use, very cheap to maintain, because since it doesn't have oil filters and all that, we don't need to make an oil change or sparks and all that. But well, you think automatically, okay, this is for poor people. This is for the base of the pyramid. But it's actually what we were doing at the beginning. We were offering the base of the pyramid affordable cars for them. But then we realized that our target market was not actually that market now, because since we are offering a new solution, a new brand, and that, I don't know if in Australia it was like that, but believe it or not, 30 years ago in Latin America, people were afraid of buying automatic gear cars, right? Also in Bolivia, some people don't want to buy automatic gears cars. Most people, or now most people prefer But 30 years ago, people, no, a manual transmission is for me, and because I don't know who is going to help me if it fails, or spare parts and all that. But we that automatic transmission car had to go through the curve of innovation, innovation adoption curve, right? And we know that we have to make the same trip as a product, right? So now we are offering you a small car that looks maybe more than a power wheels car for kids, than maybe a regular car. So at the beginning, people when saw us in the street used to laugh about our car, but not laughing, making like in a bad way. It was funny for them to see it, and most people also in social networks say that's a toy, that's not a car. But when people start using it and see that, okay, this actually solves my problems, and it is cheap, and I'm not polluting and all that. I, I I can use it, and but those first peoples are not actually the our final customers. Our first customers, actually, they are innovators. The second step is going to early adopters, right? And then we will have the complete market. But for example, our innovators are different from example innovators of about food. For example, there are people that are innovators on technology, but they are not innovators on, for example, new flavors, or testing, like new, for example, Asian food that is very new in Bolivia. Some people say, no, no, not for me. I'm happy with my Bolivian food, but they have the last the iPhone, or that. But so every single market has its own innovators. So we have to find them, and how we can reach them so they will be our ambassadors.
How how do you combat? So obviously you play in the space where innovation, resource, and development are heavily played because the technology will move so quickly. The bigger competitor, the bigger company to yours, will already have a lot of resource and a lot of support, a lot of advancement, whether it's money, whether it's technology. How do you, as a business, how do you maintain your relevancy in the market that is moving so fast, where you are playing in the market where you mentioned yourself that it has to be cost effective, it has to be addressing the bottom part of the pyramid, yet a technology is still expensive. You know, whether you're searching for a solution for the lower end of the price or the high end, the technology is still expensive for you to find. How do you address that? How do you continually evolve when, like what you said, you know, you're starting a company in the countries where automobile is not even manufacture is not even existed, and to top it up, the technology that you play is mainly come from other countries that quite advanced, and you brave enough to tackle with a lot of a lot of passion on it.
Sure. Well, we're now working very hard on expanding as fast as possible, growing. we were maturing also the product, because the product we launched 3 years ago to the product we offer now, it's very different. It looks the same, but inside is very different. We went through an evolution for it, not just in terms of technology, but also in procedures, because we were in a very different field of when 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 we work with miners. Well, they have to how to operate the machines. But if you go to the people that could be old, or could be very young, and they don't know how to lead, maybe with some problems, and we have not they don't have the expertise. Well, we have go through many different problems that we face, and now that we know them, we are more prepared to grow, to expand to another countries. But what uh, motivates us, and thinking, okay, they are so big, all these big brands, uh, it's kind of logic, because uh, if they do a car with these same qualities, they will kill their own brand. They know that there is a huge market here, but they will not do this kind of cars, because they will kill their own business, that it's big brand. Because cars, and like most of things, are how much materials you put on it, and the extra will be technology, brand support, and all that. But uh, selling a two-ton car can gives you more profit. Okay, but selling a smaller car, of course, profits are much lower. And if they you offer such small cars, they will kill their own business. And that's why I think they don't. I think they will not take care of our small part of the business, of the pie.
Jose, you mentioned very, very early on in this chat, when a certain newspaper, when they found out about your idea of, producing electric cars, they wrote a negative story, laughing, not, at the idea. And then you mentioned people were laughing at the concept, and yet you're still going, you're pushing through, your vision, where you want to go. As a leader, as business owners, we're all going to face things like this, where people laugh at our ideas, or they think we're crazy, but we want to go through it. We know that what we've this idea we've got, we want to deliver it. What is your advice to them? They're being laughed at, but they want to keep pushing through, but they're just not sure. How do they pick up and become resilient and just keep going? Because that's exactly what you did. You had that negative story, you didn't care, you're still going. So how do you actually do that as a leader or a business owner?
No, actually, the newspaper was a very nice story, actually.
Oh, it was a nice
But
story. Sorry, my bad.
yeah, just the title was the crazy guy from the electric vehicles. That was a very nice story that they made. But of course, some other people were laughing about our idea,
Yeah.
our cars, and we have a small portion of haters, like everyone else. It's very normal, and uh, reading the haters is it's also good, because not just because okay, having haters is good because you're famous or something like that. Not because of that, but because maybe you can find something true in their comments. Okay, and maybe you think, okay, this could be solved. I can use it to solve it. And we had some we read some comments, negative comments, and some of them have some reasons to their opinions. And I said, for example, about range. We have lower range before. Our range was like about 50 kilometers. Okay, but how do these guys think I will do my daily task with 50 kilometers? Do they think I will push the car? For example, right? And I say, yeah, this is a problem. It's not just my nice idea that every people needs just 35 kilometers to move around. No, we have to give them more range, and people will be maybe will pay more for more range, because our when we launched the car, it was smaller batteries than now, because we wanted it to be very cheap, as low as 5,000 USD. But now we have bigger batteries, so price have risen. And people are responding very well. People love to have more range, but we will not double the range for about 200 kilometers, because it doesn't have sense to go in a 50 kilometer per hour speed car to travel 200 kilometers. If you want to travel 200 kilometers, you might be better to take a plane or going by bus or rent a car. And that's the top we're going. But since that comments were haters, then we realized they have something good on them. The thoughts were actually right. So we need to read them and also learn from that, from those.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we can always learn. Even, we say, even here in Australia, when we get a bad customer review or an angry customer on the phone, we don't just, hang up. We actually learn something from each conversation we have. And lots of leaders that have come on this show have said exactly what you have. You read between the lines and you learn from those, if we want to call them haters or negative reviews. So that's really interesting, Jose.
And
Yes,
Jose,
right.
I think just listening to you, I personally see a lot of leaders in my personal professional works, and obviously Natalie and I interview many leaders, but there's things about you that I think I want to not summarize it, but up to this even 48 minutes, there is something about you that I think we can really learn. Your energy of being curious, observing, trying to solve, trying to learn from comments, trying to not really worry what people doing, because you really fully understand where you want to play, to the extent where you actually say something like, well, they will not combat me because they will damage their own brands if they play where I play. So in the ocean, you actually kind of saying that, well, not only you can swim, if you swim, you will be bitten by a shark. But I'm okay because I've been swimming here with the sharks, and sharks are my friends. The cheaper community, the lower end of the pricing, the people that happy to have my offering in the very minimalistic way because it's a cheaper offering. This is where I play. But what's more interesting for me is to see how you are very confident in your position today, and how should businesses like Natalie and I, so come back to a bicycle shop, for example. All right, so let's just say Natalie and I own a small bicycle shop. Now, how do we, I still want to learn from you. How do we position ourselves so we have the confidence like you? We throw different questions in the last 49 minutes, 50 minutes now. Hey, you have the big competitor. No problem. The big competitor will not play in my area. Hey, Jose, resource and development very expensive. No problem. because we will be evolving, because the technology that we have to play do not have to move as fast as they are, because we're not offering a technology that have to open everything automatically and stop everything automatically. Right now, we're offering the fact that people can use our solution for 100 kilometers, whatever kilometers, with better cost than burning fuel. Hey, Jose, no one wants, like you have the answer, but the answer is very convincing because you search the answer. It's not just a marketing answer. It's not just you telling Natalie and I because you want us to hear what you say. It's all makes sense. We understand. Even I now understand. I don't think the big competitor will play because what you say. Now, teach us as a bicycle owner shop, a bicycle business owners for today, how should we position ourselves? How should we come up with a convincing why? That's it. A convincing why. How should we come up with that?
Well, that's a tough question, but actually, I was smiling because my partner is always saying, you don't look too very much upset when something happens. Like you're very quiet, but of course I care, and I think, okay, we are I get worried, but no problem. It's like my one of my favorites says, okay. But
sorry, what did you say? It's breaking up, Jose. What's your favorite saying?
No problem. Everything's going to be fine. It's one of my favorite says, and that's what I was smiling, and we will take care. We will take care, but it's not just saying like we will take care. Don't worry. No, we will actually take care in a good way, and we work very hard. Of course, we have a lot of failures, like everyone's have, and some way of the way I see problems is somehow learning and avoiding them to happen again. And of course, there are many problems that will happen, or maybe there are some problems that doesn't have a solution. Some problems that don't have a solution, right? But we will try to do it in a quiet way, because if we start to lose our nerves, we will not think well, and we will block ourselves to finding the right solution. And that's why it's very important to be an observer, because being an observer will make you find easily the solution. Okay, and maybe sometimes the solution could be much easier than you can imagine, right? If you have time and you have the for it, the solution will be able to be found. So most important is to think on how you can how was it how you get into the problem, the reasons that take you to that problem, to analyze the situation quietly, but because losing your nerves will make the problem even worse. So that's why I have learned, and that's what I take all the situations, because we have problems all every single day, bigger, smaller, in the job, in our families and all that. But most important is to see how much time do I have. Most of times you have no limit of time or to but in that way you can think. Of course, if you are in a hurry where you have to pay some stuff, you have to think quickly. Of course, that happens to us every single day. We are still going through the death valley, and time is we are against the time, so we have a lot of payments to do, but we cannot lose our nerves. I think that's my opinion on that.
Thank you, Jose. And I've got the really important question here for you. When are you expanding to Australia? You've got 5 countries. When are you coming here?
Well, hopefully, well, I'm very excited, or I wish I could know Australia before, so I can understand the market, observe, and then we'll go for it, jumping into the pool.
Oh,
I
that's
have
fantastic. Yeah.
some friends living in Australia. In Australia, I know it's a lovely country. I wish I can visit Australia someday. I hope it's very soon. And of course, I would like to start a business in Australia with quantum. That would be a dream for sure.
Oh, fantastic. And Jose, where is there a website or anything that if people want to get more information, or on LinkedIn, where can they go to for more information?
Yeah, sure. Our website is to quantum. It's TU quantum. That it means your quantum. Okay, where you can see your quantum. Okay, and in LinkedIn you can find Quantum Motors or myself, Jose Carlos Marquez. And well, very happy to answer your questions as an entrepreneur or as a quantum CEO, and very happy to participate in this kind of talks. Very enrichment. Very thank you for the opportunity for sure.
Thank you, Jose. And we're actually run out of time. So Gus, I'm going to hand it over to you to wrap up the show for today.
Thank you. Jose, once again, thank you so much for donating your time. We get deep into your business and how you run your business and how you think. And as I mentioned before, I think one thing that is really clearly show for the past 1 hour, and I think for many people we can learn from you, is your passion of being curious in solving problems. You started by saying that we saw a lot of people pushing wheelbarrow, so let's solve that. To now, fast forward many years, you actually said, well, if we want to address sustainability, we can't just address by the rich. We want to address it by majority of the people in many countries, whether it's in Indonesia, where there's 300, 400 million people that will never able to even spend money where electrics vehicle right now happening. So that's really come across really well. So this is the key areas that I took, and I hope I do justice here. The topic that we bring from Leader Talk today is about the importance of dreaming big, taking head on a big competitor on the journey. Quantum Motors is a company started in a country called Bolivia, where many people will not even experience what you call the food and the beauty of Bolivia. If you want to be successful, you have to start by asking what is possible, instead of blocking opportunity. What can we do if it's possible? And success will start to appear. If you want to start a business, understand the why. Have a plan and also at the same time understand the risk, because you have to have plan B. Understand what you actually will solve. It's not about coming up with an idea. An idea without the understanding of what you will solve will be a redundant idea, because it will be finite instead of infinite. Learn and learn and learn new things, and always be curious. Whether you are a business owner, whether you are a CEO, whether you are opening a business, in the absence of your passion to be curious. If you are a noodle shop, I like to use a noodle shop as an example because I like to eat one. Be curious what people actually want to eat today, because it might be different to 2 years ago. Be an observer equally. It's not about being passionate about what you know and what you want to be and what you want to sell, but be an observer as well, to make sure that you continuously address the needs of the market and your potential business. Be an observer is equally important, as it helps you to understand the problem and come up with possible solutions. When you start a business and run a business, love the haters. I love this. Love the haters. Don't hate them. Bring them on. Love them, because they will give you a solution. They will give you a solution. One of your haters say, who wants to buy an electric vehicle if it only can run for 50 kilometers? Do you want me to push the car? And I love that. It really gives a context. And then to close this session, you say, no problem. Everything gonna be fine, because we will work on it and we will find a solution for it, and we will address it passionately. So Jose, thank you so much for donating your time for Leader Talk and Brainiact. Natalie and I learned a lot today, and we value your insight. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Natalie, Gustav, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jose. It's been a wonderful hour chatting to you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. For more information on Leader Talk and for some great resources to help your business grow, check out brainiact.com.au. Bye, everyone.